Jack Ma, 50 short stories from poor boy to billionaire, life history for English learning, page 1. The birth of a future legend. Jack Ma was born on September 10th, 1964 in Hangzhou, China. His real name is Ma Yun, but the world knows him as Jack Ma. He grew up in a poor family during difficult times in China. His parents were traditional musicians and storytellers. They didn't have much money, but they gave Jack big dreams. Even as a child, Jack believed he could change the world. Nobody knew this small boy would become one of the richest men on earth. Page 2. A struggling student. Jack was not a smart student in school. He failed many exams and struggled with mathematics. His teachers thought he would never succeed in life. Jack was always the worst student in his class. Other children laughed at him and called him stupid. But Jack had something special. He never gave up. He believed that being different was not a weakness. Jack knew that one day he would prove everyone wrong. Page 3. Learning English by the lake. When Jack was 12 years old, he started learning English. Every morning, he rode his bicycle to Westlake in Hangzhou. He would wait for foreign tourists near the hotels. Jack offered to be their free tour guide to practice English. For 9 years, he did this every single day. The tourists were surprised by this enthusiastic Chinese boy. They taught him English and told him stories about their countries. This experience opened Jack's mind to the wider world. Page 4. The Australian Connection. One day, Jack met an Australian family called the Morleys. They were impressed by Jack's enthusiasm and kindness. The family gave him the English name Jack. They invited him to visit Australia someday. Jack was too poor to travel, but he never forgot their kindness. Years later, when Jack became successful, he visited the Morleys. This friendship taught Jack the power of international connections. He learned that language could build bridges between cultures. Page 5. The Gaokao Nightmare. In China, students must take the Gaokao exam to enter university. Jack failed this important exam not once, but twice. His family was ashamed and his friends lost faith in him. After failing twice, Jack worked as a bicycle courier. He earned very little money and felt completely hopeless. Everyone told him to give up his dreams of higher education, but Jack refused to accept failure as his final answer. He decided to try the Gaokao exam one more time. Page 6. Third time. Lucky Jack studied harder than ever before for his third Gaokao attempt. He focused on his strengths instead of trying to fix his weaknesses. When the results came out, Jack had finally passed. He was accepted to Hangzhou Normal University to study English. His family couldn't believe their eyes when they heard the news. Jack had proved that persistence could overcome any obstacle. This victory taught him never to give up on his dreams. It was the first major success of his life. Page 7. University Leadership. At university, Jack was not the best student academically. However, he was very popular among his classmates. Jack was elected as the head of the student union. He organized many events and activities for students. His natural leadership skills began to shine. Jack could inspire people and make them believe in themselves. Teachers noticed his ability to motivate others. He was becoming a natural-born leader. Page 8. Rejection after rejection. After graduating in 1988, Jack applied for many jobs. He was rejected again and again and again. Even KFC refused to hire him as a worker. Out of 24 people who applied that day, 23 were hired. Jack was the only one who was rejected. He also applied to be a police officer, but was refused. These rejections hurt Jack's confidence deeply, but they also taught him to create his own opportunities. Page 9. The English Teacher. Jack finally got a job as an English teacher. He worked at Hangzhou Electronics Industry College. His salary was only 120 yuan per month, about $12. Despite the low pay, Jack loved teaching. He was known as the most enthusiastic and inspiring teacher. Students loved his classes because he made learning fun. Jack could explain difficult concepts in simple ways. Teaching helped him develop his communication skills. Page 10. First taste of business. While teaching, Jack started his first small business. He founded a translation company with some friends. The company helped Chinese businesses translate documents. Jack had to carry heavy bags around the city to find customers. The business was small, but it gave Jack his first business experience. He learned about managing money, hiring people, and serving customers. Most importantly, he learned that business was about solving problems. This experience planted the seed of entrepreneurship in his mind. Page 11. Discovering the Internet. In 1995, Jack visited the United States for the first time. He was part of a government business delegation. In Seattle, his American friends showed him the Internet. Jack had never used a computer before in his life. When he searched for China online, he found almost nothing. When he searched for Chinese beer, again nothing appeared. Jack realized that China was invisible on the Internet. This discovery gave him a revolutionary business idea. Page 12. The big idea. Jack understood that the Internet could connect China to the world. He imagined Chinese businesses selling products to global customers online. This was a completely new concept in 1995. Most Chinese people had never heard of the Internet. Jack's friends thought he was crazy to believe in this new technology. But Jack could see the enormous potential that others couldn't see. He decided to quit his teaching job and start an internet company. His wife and parents were worried about his decision. Page 13, China Pages, the first attempt. In 1995, Jack started his first internet company called China Pages. The company created websites for Chinese businesses. Jack invested his life savings of $2,000 into the business. He had to learn about computers and the internet while building the company. Convincing Chinese businesses to go online was extremely difficult. Most companies didn't understand what the internet was. They thought Jack was trying to trick them. The business grew slowly and faced many challenges. Page 14. Learning from failure. After 3 years, China Pages was not very successful. Jack realized he needed more experience and knowledge. He made the difficult decision to close the company. Many people said, "I told you so," and laughed at his failure. But Jack saw this failure as valuable education. He learned important lessons about technology and business. Jack understood that he needed to prepare better for his next attempt. Failure had made him wiser and more determined. Page 15. Government experience. In 1998, Jack accepted a job with the Chinese government in Beijing. He worked for the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Economic Cooperation. His job was to develop a government website. This experience taught Jack about international trade and government policies. He learned how Chinese businesses struggled to export their products. However, Jack felt frustrated with the slow pace of government work. He wanted to move fast and innovate. After 1 year, Jack decided to return to private business. Page 16, The Alibaba Dream. In February 1999, Jack gathered 17 friends in his small apartment. He shared his vision of helping small Chinese businesses sell globally. Jack wanted to create an internet platform for international trade. He chose the name Alibaba from the famous Arabian story. Like Alibaba, who helped people, Jack wanted to help small businesses. The 18 founders invested their own money, a total of $60,000. They all believed in Jack's crazy dream. February 21st, 1999, became Alibaba's official birthday. Page 17. Starting in an apartment. Alibaba began in Jack's cramped apartment in Hangzhou. There was barely enough space for 18 people to work. The team worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. They ate instant noodles and slept on the floor. None of them were expert programmers. They had to learn web development while building the website. The first version of Alibaba.com was very simple, but they all believed they were changing the world. Page 18. Door-to-door sales. In the beginning, no businesses wanted to join Alibaba. Chinese companies didn't trust the internet for business. Jack personally went door-to-door trying to find customers. He was rejected hundreds of times every day. Many business owners hung up the phone when Alibaba called. Some people thought Jack was running a scam, but Jack never stopped believing in his vision. His persistence slowly started to win over some customers. Page 19. The first investment. By late 1999, Alibaba desperately needed more money. Jack pitched his idea to many international investors. Most investors didn't believe in the Chinese internet market. They thought Chinese people would never shop online. Finally, Goldman Sachs agreed to invest $5 million. This was a huge validation for the young company. The investment proved that Alibaba had real potential. Jack used the money to hire more people and improve the website. Page 20. SoftBank believes. In 2000, Masayoshi Son from SoftBank met Jack Ma. Son was famous for investing in successful internet companies. Jack had only 6 minutes to pitch his idea to Son. Son was immediately impressed by Jack's passion and vision. SoftBank invested $25 million in Alibaba. This was one of the largest internet investments in China at that time. Son became Jack's mentor and close friend. The investment helped Alibaba expand internationally. Page 21. The dot-com crash. In 2000, the internet bubble burst around the world. Many internet companies went bankrupt overnight. Investors lost billions of dollars and stopped funding internet startups. Alibaba's competitors shut down one by one. Jack had to lay off employees and close international offices. Many people thought the internet business was finished, but Jack saw this crisis as an opportunity. He believed surviving companies would emerge stronger. Page 22.